This might be a potential game changer for those who actually spend a lot of time making notes but still not getting good results at school or at uni. So let's dive right into today. We talk about how to make notes the correct way. It might just save you a lot of time and actually get you to rethink what making notes is all about. Like yesterday, we've already talked about making notes as really a means for you to actually improve in terms of your knowledge for your exams. But what is the process? What does the process or the thinking behind making notes actually look like? Let's dive right into it. So first of all, apologies for those who are actually vegetarian or vegan. This is just an analogy so people can actually understand it much better. We've been actually cooking a lot during this quarantine time. So during this one here, first of all, when some sort of information is actually presented to you, for example in form of lecture, for example when the teacher gives it to you at school, it actually is like a piece of steak with a lot of fat around it, right? So you see all of this, we really want to be trimming out all this fat, because the presentation that they actually give it to you, the presentation that they give you in terms of these information actually has a lot of information that might not aid your understanding of this information. So the first step is actually to cut out all this irrelevant information, really to trim out all this fat. And now that we've got a lean piece of steak here, this is really what I'm talking about. The next step you really need to do is what I always harp on about until everyone knows this, is the 5-10-15 rule, which is explaining your concept to simply to a 5-year-old, to a 10-year-old, and then to a 15-year-old. So actually, when you're able to trim out all that fat and actually explain this in your own word, this is how you can make sure that you've understood the concept itself. So the second part is actually to mince it out, right? Often when you buy mince at the grocery store, it's not just from the same cow itself. It might be from different animals. It might be even from different species, like it might be even pork mince into this. The whole thing is to actually, once you've digested this in your own concept, using the 5-10-15 rule, you really need to go to multiple sources as well. If you still don't understand it, you really need to go to multiple sources. Nowadays, we've got YouTube. Nowadays, we've got Google. All of these different platforms, all of these different blog sites, all of these different educational sites that you can go to and actually consolidate your knowledge, because your knowledge might be coming from one source that you don't quite understand how they actually explain it. But if you go to different sources, go to different teachers that actually explain it, this greatly increases the understanding, the probability of you actually understanding and explaining this concept yourself. Then really lastly is really you need to cook this to a beautiful meal, right? To this beautiful burger right here. In order to do this, to actually cook this into your brain, literally, to actually absorb this into your body, you need to undergo what are called spaced repetition, really going back to the same information a day, maybe 2 days later, then 5 days later, 10 days later, to actually go through the same information so it actually commits to your long-term memory. So I hope this mini lesson has been helpful for you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.